crafters, it's Cynthia. I am back again with another of the Simon Says Stamp Card Kit videos, and this time I'm featuring the October 2017 kit, which is called Brushstroke Messages. So as you can see, this is the introductory sheet with 6 different examples, and it also details exactly what you get in the kit. So let's dive right in. We have the Brushstroke Messages stamp set, which is really nice, and you can do such pretty things with this type of brushstroke stamp. And this is kind of a good staple item to have on hand, because if you're not so great at watercoloring, or you haven't started watercoloring yet but you like the look, then this is a nice way to kind of give yourself that look, but with zero fuss and zero hassle. So I really like this. Then you also get half of a half of a pattern paper pack, and this is 12 sheets of My Mind's Eye blush paper, and all of these papers, one side of it is accented with rose gold, and I'm trying to tip this in the light to show you the gorgeous shine, and then the opposite pages don't have any foil embellishment, so it's up to you which you'd prefer to use. So I'm just going to flip through here really quick. You get plenty of beautiful papers here. Very fun, but a little more elegant, a little softer, a little romantic maybe. So that's nice if you prefer making that type of card. But these are all just so lovely. So that is going to be fun to use. And then you get a couple of their envelopes. And it does say that you're supposed to get, what does it say here? The metallic cream envelopes. But I must have been a little, further down the line. And so they just sent me cream envelopes that are not metallic. But they are absolutely beautiful. They just have that silky smooth finish, and they're a really nice weight. And you get this nice strip here of tape for closing it, but it's protected until you're ready to use it. And that's kind of nice because a lot of people don't like to lick their envelopes. But anyway, so 2 of these, which is awesome. And then you get sheets of the Simon Says Stamp cardstock. So you'll get a sheet of their soft navy, a sheet of smoke, a beautiful sheet of ivory, and it's that same butter soft ivory like the envelope. And then this gorgeous piece, and what is this? Burnished rose mirrored cardstock, which is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to be hoarding this one and just using it in little tiny bits. Then you get this beautiful embossing powder, and it's just called Steel Navy, and it's an ultra fine powder, which is nice for stamping fine lines and sentiments. And it really is just this beautiful dark blue, which is great because I don't have a dark blue embossing powder. And this is a big jar. This is definitely their full-size jar, so this one is going to last for a very long time. And then what's fun is you get a Ranger Emboss It pen. And the neat thing about this is that it's a pen, but it has the sticky embossing ink in it. So if you wanted to do some embossing on something, you could just write something. Maybe you have really nice handwriting. You can write your message and then sprinkle your powder on it and heat it up. Or you can stamp down an image and enhance it with some embossing or anything that you want. So these pens are a lot of fun. I have, where is it? Is this it? Yeah, this is my Versamarker pen, and I bought this, oh my goodness, like at least 12 years ago. It's been a long, long time, but I love this pen, and this is a dual-ended marker, and so I am used to using this, and so to get this one is awesome because the more the merrier, right? So then this is a little baggie of extras, and this is great because you get a little tube here of the multi-medium matte, and this is a fabulous adhesive. I don't know if you've ever tried this yet, but it's really, really nice. And the reason I like it is that it has more of a paste-like consistency. And so even if you use this on thinner paper, it's not going to warp your paper. A lot of liquid adhesives contain a lot of water, and it's just like you got your paper wet, and so it's going to bubble and warp. So this, I like the fact that it's a strong adhesive, but it doesn't contain much water at all. And then you get this little tool here, and I can't remember if it was Jennifer McGuire or Christina Werner. Somebody I watch on videos likes to use these, and so this will be kind of fun because you can use it to get your matte medium in just the right place or whatever you'd like to. So that's a handy tool. And then this is a very pretty little flower die, and it's really cute because it's just kind of a whimsical little loopy flower, but I think it's lovely, and you're going to be able to do a lot of cute things with this. And I'm looking forward to punching out some of these in that gorgeous burnished rose cardstock. So anyway, that is the kit ingredients, and I'm going to get myself coordinated here, and we'll go ahead and get started on making cards. I'll be right back. All right, so for card number 1, I'm going to go ahead and start using that little die cut there. And I'm just picking off little bits of my release paper that I like to use. It just helps my dies, or my die cuts, pop right out of the dies. So now I am putting down that rose gold outline. Actually, I'm going to take the white, or the ivory, excuse me, center from that one, put it down, and now I'm going to work that thinner outline just around it. And you can see I've left those little tiny teardrop shapes between the loops. I just left those there. And I put it down on a piece of double-sided tape so that it would just instantly be bonded. Now I'm going to cut out a spot for my sentiment. I'm using pale blush pink ink from Simon Says Stamp, which came in a previous card kit, and it's a real beautiful soft peachy pink. And I just used one of those little kind of paint stripe stamps, and now I'm using the You Are Loved sentiment. And I'm sorry that I didn't show, but I did use the Lawn Fawn Rose Gold embossing powder to heat emboss that sentiment so it would show up real nice. And now I'm just sticking down those little flowers on the edge, popping one up. And I've got an ivory card base, and I'm going to put down this piece of pattern paper. I really wish I had Simon's ivory cardstock on hand, but I don't. So I just used the closest match. There's card number 1. Quick and easy, but very pretty. So card number 2, I'm going to go ahead and use this piece of pattern paper, which I really liked. And I just trimmed down the edges, but I wanted to get all 3 colors on the final piece. And now I used the steel blue embossing powder from the kit, and you really can't tell, but it has kind of a matte metallic finish. And now you can see that I'm framing it in that beautiful rose gold paper, but you can see that I cut out the center. And I did that on purpose so I didn't waste a whole piece of that cardstock. So now I'm using my Stampin' Up! Bow punch. And here I am just gently curving the paper to help tease it into the loop shape. And I have little tiny clothespins and my liquid glue. So I'm just going to put the glue there and then pinch them and set them aside to dry. And now I've taken a couple just random pieces of the ivory cardstock, And I'm sponging the edges with that soft pink ink. And this is going to become like a little gift box. So I'm adding just a strip of that rose gold paper down the center, and I'm going to pop up the lid just a little bit. And there are a lot of ways to do this. I just wanted something quick and easy. So now I've got the pieces of my bow, and I don't show the full assembly of this, but it's just either gluing or taping or whatever you want to do to get your bow assembled. Now I'm putting that down on another ivory card base. There's my little gift. And you can see I was describing how I tilted the ends of the bows down because I kind of like that look. So there's my little fake present. And now I'm using this Sizzix tiny tag die, and I'm using some of that same dark blue paper from the pack. And I'm going to heat emboss the heart right on it and then just attach it down to my gift. And I'm trimming it, it was a little long. But I'm just going to glue that down flat so it doesn't go anywhere. And that's card number 2. So card number 3, I found this gorgeous floral paper, and I love floral paper, so of course I had to use it. And the pink flowers on the pattern paper actually are already outlined. They're very sketchy looking, and they have a little pink outline, which is the same shape, not exactly the same size, but the same shape as that die. So I am going to use the multi-matte medium and that little tool there to just get a little bit of that adhesive all over the back of that die, and now I'm just going to lay it on top of the flower on the paper. And this really just gives such an interesting look to that paper. I love it. So now I put some tape down on my card base, and I'm laying down some strips again from the pattern paper pack. I'm just leaving the ends long so I can trim it after. So more tape, and I'll lay down that center panel and then trim off all my little ends. So that's the card base. And now I'm taking the larger stamp from the set, and I'm just using that same Simon Says ink. And their ink's kind of stamp splotchy, but it'll settle down and dry evenly into the paper. And now I'm taking a sentiment from the stamp set, and I'm using the After Midnight ink from My Favorite Things, which is nice dark, dark blue. And I put that little piece on some pattern paper and then popped it up on foam squares. Now I've got some rose gold liquid pearls, which I had just purchased, and it's so pretty. So I'm doing my careful little drops, and that's card number 3. All right, so for card number 4, I decided I was going to do another custom background piece. And so I'm going to take those 2 long, thin stamps, and I'm starting off with that pale blush pink ink, and I'm stamping the wider stripe, and that was Stampin' Up's Smoky Slate Gray. And I'm just going to alternate those 2 colors every, what is it, I guess, every quarter inch apart. So every ½ inch I'll do the pink, and then every other ½ inch I'll do the gray. Now I'm going to do the opposite direction. And my MISTI is really convenient for this, especially that piece of grid paper in the back. That's what I'm using to measure as I go along. So I'm going to do all the pink first, clean my stamp, then do all the gray, and just keep going until the entire piece is covered. And this piece of paper here is the ivory from the kit. And so now this time I'm taking the thin stamp from the set, and I'm going to stamp it off because I'm using the After Midnight ink from My Favorite Things, and it is super, super dark, so I wanted it a little lighter. Now I'm going to be stamping in between the gray and the pink, every other blank space. And you can see what that looks like. I put it down on a piece of the navy cardstock, and I'm putting it down on a gray card base. And it's a little smaller than the card base, so I'll trim that off so it's even. So now I'm taking the same gray cardstock, and I created a little flag for myself, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which says something, "You got this," and then the heart. Now I'm using the steel blue, I think it's steel navy actually, embossing powder. And this is so cute. It's the Encouraging Animals stamp set from Simon. And all of the images are darling, but I decided I was going to go ahead and use the bear for this because he's just too cute with his little flower. And I'm just using a scrap piece of a heavyweight white cardstock, and I'm using my Memento ink because I will be coloring with Copics. And now I'm going to go ahead and set the cap down. I actually remembered to keep it in frame, so you'll be able to see the inks I'm using. And those are my R20 and R22 inks I did. There we go. Now I decided to use some warm grays to color his little body because it'll look nice with the gray cardstock. And so I'm just going to start with my darkest in what I think are the shadow areas. And I'll just work my way up in color as I go through. And I am not a Copic expert in any way, shape, or form. So I'm just, you know, going with the flow, doing my best. And in the end, it'll all work out. Because that W3, the lightest gray I'm using on his body, is great for blending. It really helps kind of marry all those colors. So there he is. And now this is neat. I used that embossing pen from the kit, and I'm coloring in the center of that flower. And this is the neat thing about that pen. Now I can heat emboss the center of my flower, which is wonderful. A great way to add a little detail. That's why those pens are awesome. And of course, I'll just melt that real quick, and it'll create that gorgeous matte metallic blue, which will be great. So now I'm taking the pale blush pink. I created a little mask for the bear, and I will just set that carefully over him. And now I can sponge in the background. And this is another nice way, if you don't have a pink cardstock that's going to match your ink, or, you know, for whatever reason, it's always good to use that same ink and do some blending. So now I just randomly cut out a little piece of the green leaf Simon Says stamped cardstock to give him something to stand on. And now you can see against that plaid how cute that sponged pink is. So now I'm just going to create a little second flag for my sentiment to sit on. And I'm just going to tape it down. This is a really simple, quick layout, but it works very well for all different shapes and sizes. And that's where he will sit. So card number 5 is going to be super quick and easy. It's just another one of those ivory card bases, and I took a strip of this beautiful floral paper from the kit, and I'm just going to lay it down on a piece of the soft navy, and I'm just going to have a simple thank you as my sentiment. So I'm getting out my Lawn Fawn Rose Gold embossing powder. I love that stuff so much. And I'm inking it up with my Versamark ink. And I'm leaving that there, that little strip, there we go, just while I stamp. So I get the sentiment in the perfect spot. Now I'm going to melt that powder, and I don't know if you're going to be able to really see how pretty it is. I'll tip it in the light, but it's just lovely. That was a good purchase on my part. It wasn't cheap, but it was worth every penny because it's a big jar. So now I'm just going to go ahead and tape down that strip. This is a perfect way to use up paper scraps because you end up with a pretty card and you use all your scraps. All right, so for my final card, I was inspired with the sentiment, "You're going to rock this." And I picked out more pattern paper from the kit. And I'm just putting it down on an ivory card base. And then I want to use this as a complementary strip. And I'm going to put that sentiment down to the very lower right edge because of something I'm going to add in a moment. So of course I'm using my Versamark ink, getting that into just the right little spot, and then I'll use the embossing powder from the kit. Give that a quick melt. And now I'm going to get the piece that I created. There it is. Oh my gosh. I just had this total vision in my head. As soon as I saw the sentiment, "You're going to rock this," I thought, I need a guitar. So I found this adorable guitar in my Silhouette Design studio, and I wrote down the cut file number for you just in case you also have a Silhouette and want to use something similar. Or, you know, any guitar from any cut file or die would work. So I am just going to go ahead and attach down this strip now that I know just about where I want it. And then I did pop up my guitar on foam tape. So all I have to do is take it off and set it down. And I have a really cute little card that was actually pretty simple. Okay, let's go ahead and review. I've got card number 1, which has the "You Are Loved" sentiment. Card number 2, which says "Happy Birthday." Card number 3, "Just wanted to say you're amazing." Card number 4 with that darling bear, "You got this." Card number 5, the simple "Thank you." And card number 6, "You're going to rock this." So I really like the way that all of these turned out. I think they're super cute. And they were pretty easy actually. And sometimes when you get a card kit like this, you're not exactly sure because it doesn't have a very strong theme to it. So sometimes you get a little blocked. But it turns out that with something like this, you can really go any direction that you want to go. So in a way, there's a lot of freedom with a kit like this. So I hope that you embrace that idea. I hope that you have fun playing with your kit if you were one of the ones that got this one. And like I had mentioned before, this came a little bit late in the mail to me. I think that our local mail service is a little bit slow. So anyway, I have actually already purchased the next card kit, the November card kit, which is hopefully coming, and hopefully won't take quite as long to reach me this time. But anyway, it's a lovely kit, and I'll definitely be using it and making another video for you. So I hope that you enjoyed this one. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this, and if you enjoyed it, please click like. If you're not a current subscriber, I would love it if you would join my channel, and you can keep up with me on all the card kit videos I do, as well as the other ones. And take care of yourselves and have an awesome day. Bye-bye.